Thank you, let's Roll here again. I'm going to talk about why hypnotherapy doesn't fail. There's three main reasons why it doesn't work for anybody. And it's quite important you know this stuff before you actually down the line of going down that path. And there's some really massive reasons why it doesn't work across the board. And look, I'm a qualified hypnotherapist, so I know why it doesn't work, right? So the first one, this works for weight loss predominantly, stop smoking predominantly, is that people expect the hypnotherapist to do the work for them. So they come in and go, I want you to hypnotize me like on stage. Yeah, I want you to stop me smoking. I want you to stop me eating sugar. I want to be skinny. I want to be a non-smoker. I want you to hypnotize me so I don't have to do any work whatsoever. And basically, you're the magician. And if I don't do this, or I continue smoking, or I continue eating, well, basically, it's your fault because you're a shit hypnotherapist. That's quite common. And I know hypnotherapists get, quite fed up because people kind of think hypnotherapy is the panacea of waving a magic wand, some mystical trick that if you go and see someone, you don't have to do any work whatsoever on yourself. Absolutely none. You go in there and you come out and you're a non-smoker and you go back to your old habits, your old life, your old stresses, all that kind of stuff. You do no work on yourself. And then they blame the hypnotherapy and say, well, it's the hypnotherapist's fault, or hypnotherapy didn't work for me. And that's not how it works. It never has worked that way. It never will work that way. But there's an expectation from people that hypnotherapy will do the work for them. And that is just never going to work. I remember, speaking to someone about, well, you got to do lots of work. You understand the way, cigarettes laced with sugar and all that kind of stuff. What's your diet like? What's your stress like? All that kind of stuff. They were interested. It's just like, great, I want you to hypnotize me. So it's like, no, it's not going to work because you're not putting any effort in and you're not doing any work outside of the session. And basically, you want someone else to do the work for you and take it away from you. Not going to work. Second reason, crappy hypnotherapist who read a script. There are a lot of courses out there that teach hypnotherapy in 2-3 days, and they give you a certificate and they give you a script, and but they go out there and basically try to hypnotize people. The hypnotherapy, and the ones who do it really, really well, are really skilled at it. Like it's an art form to do. And so if you come across somebody who's just got the certificate and they're reading a script, they're not going to be the best at it. Taking someone in a trance takes quite a skill, and you'll find that a lot of people do read off scripts, and you're not present with the client. You're just reading off that, and that's why it doesn't work because taking someone down to the depths of their subconscious does take a lot of confidence from the person who's sitting in my position. And a lot of people who come out of those courses don't have a lot of confidence in their ability to be able to hypnotize someone. And they just say, it's like a lot of meditation and stuff like that. So that's the other part there. Point number two, you've got a lot of people out there being accredited these days, doing 3-day courses, and they're basically crap at it. I think it took me a good 12, 18 months before I was any good at hypnotizing anybody whatsoever, before I even did it myself. The third one is where I really teach, and that is that you're trying to fix problems. And so what you're presenting with, and people who know NLP and hypnosis and maybe people who have a lot of therapy, is the presenting problem is not the presenting problem, right? And so where I work in the field of, well, the problem may be an illusion, depending on how you've been brought up, what you think, those thought patterns. Is it actually true that that's correct? So what a lot of therapies or hypnotherapists, you go, oh, come to me and, okay, here's my problem, A, B, C, D. Okay, I can actually do hypnotherapy to fix that problem. And that keeps you in the loop. So if I've got anxiety, I've got, some kind of disorder or bad habit or something like that, they are generally symptoms of a bigger problem. But what people try and do is they try and treat the symptom. They try and treat the anxiety. They try and treat the depressive moments. They try and treat the lack of self-confidence and all that kind of stuff. And so if you're trying to fix problems, please understand that quite often Well, most of the time, the problem is not really real. It is actually an illusion of thought. And that's why some of the stuff I do is quite powerful, is because we don't work on solving problems. Because once you get to the real core thing, you realize that what you're trying to overcome or trying to expand or evolve beyond or fix or get past really wasn't the problem in the first place. And you get to the point where you go, okay, it's just a perspective. It's just a pattern of thought. And when you really go into that inquisitive space where that self-awareness comes, that's when you really get to that powerful state, because then you've been realizing that you're trying to fix a problem that can't be fixed, or you're wasting your time fixing a problem that's not really real. It's an illusion. And that's waste time and energy and effort and money. So you delving into this place that in this loop. So if you're trying to fix your self-confidence, and I'm not a confident person, and you're trying to say, well, do all these practices to get to a certain point and then I'll be confident, you can't create from a negative. You can't create from a place of I'm not a confident person, because when you go down deeper, you realize that's just a bunch of words and a bit of thoughts. And the real part is that you believe the story that you weren't, when in fact your innate divine being is confidence. It's just tapping into that. It's just like I was saying to a client today. It's like you're the lamp. You got the lampshade on. It's got to take the lampshade off, and it's already there. So this is where a lot of people get stuck in this place of, I've got to fix something about myself. I've got a problem to fix. And where I go to is helping people realize that actually that may not be the right thing to do. And that's why sometimes the hypnotherapy and NLP and all that stuff doesn't work for people, because you are trying to solve a problem that may not even be real. And then that just wastes a whole lot of time. So it is I will talk about this in probably another video, maybe in the next couple of days, about the problem's not really the problem. And if you've seen my demo sessions or on YouTube, you will see the actual demonstration of me helping people realize that what they thought was a problem is actually just a trick of the mind. It's not real. It didn't exist. It's an illusion. And once the illusion goes, you reveal your true self, which doesn't have a problem in the first place. So always important to talk about, that stuff, because a lot of people go to see people with NLP or hypnosis or some kind of technique. And in itself, the technique is reinforcing the fact that you have a problem and you're trying to fix that problem. But what I'm trying to say to you is the problem actually may not even be real. So you may not need a hypnotherapy. You may not need it. It's why it just doesn't work. It keeps you in this constant loop of trying to fix this inadequacy of yourself by trying to become someone different, but you're coming from a place of, I'm not good enough, or I'm broken, or I'm wrong, or whatever the story is, all right? So I hope that helps. If you're going to look at, seeing somebody to try and resolve something, just be very much aware that having your mind that the problem you're trying to fix may not necessarily be real. It may be real in your head. I get it. It's real in your life. That's why you come and see someone like me, is that we can pick apart, is that actually true? Is that what you're thinking actually real? And once you have the awakening that it's not, then it just goes like magic. And then you get back to your true innate self, which again is the Sydney Banks 3 principle stuff, that is who you truly are. And then you just radiate from there. So I hope it helps, people out there, because I see a lot of people just try to get these things done. It just fails and fails and fails and fails. There's a good reason for it. And there's, one's because of the client, one's because of the therapist, and the third one is because the problem doesn't exist in the first place. So we feel a treat for wrong thing. So I hope that helps. All right. Catch you later.